I'm going to tell you all a quick story about how a friend absolutely betrayed me in one of the worst ways that I could ever imagine. And the reason why I'm going to tell this story is because I've been thinking about forgiveness and this idea that we should always forgive people when they harm us, no matter what, and how that's actually good for us. So I want to break down why it's good for us to forgive. Why should we do it, and what that means to our journey? Because I do believe that forgiveness is a crucial part of our journeys. So, quick story about the friend who I admired, loved, probably had on a pedestal, right? Um, she changed my life in some of the most magnificent ways. In fact, a lot of the love that I still have in my life right now, her presence in my life was responsible for. So I just had such a respect and admiration for her. I even wrote about her in my book, What She Taught Me, which is a book that I wrote specifically for men to keep them out of situations like this. But that book is to help men build the life that they want and deserve, and to help them to not destroy it as so many men do. But anyways, I had a picture, life-size picture of this woman hanging on my wall. That's just how much love I had for her. So this is what happened. I wasn't home, but my partner was home, and she was coming over to visit. This was going to be her first time ever visiting, ever meeting my partner. So I wasn't there, but my partner was there, who was visibly pregnant at the time. So I came about 30 minutes after her, and when I walked into the house, I could feel the energy that something was off. And the energy never lies, so I knew something was wrong. So we went about our time together with me feeling this way, but not really saying anything about it. And then later, I asked my partner, what's going on? I could feel that something is off. And it was at that point that she let me know that as soon as my friend walked into the home and met her for the first time, she began to list off things about me that were disparaging. She began to lie about me, and she began to tell her things that I had shared with her in confidence that would have been damaging to our relationship. So what she did was she came into my home and she tried her best to sabotage my relationship with the woman who was carrying my child at that time. And to me, there was nothing worse that anybody could have ever done to me. I mean, to this day, I still don't understand what would make a person do something like that. And yet, to this day, I still love her. I still have the admiration and the respect for her, and her picture still hangs to this day. I'll tell you why. I know it sounds crazy, right? But I'm going to tell you why. And in doing so, tell you why forgiveness is so very important for your journey and your path. Number one, your life is a story. It's like a book full of characters, right? And those characters bring all type of gifts. Everybody has something for you along your journey. And when we think about gifts, we tend to correlate that with something that feels good, something that brings joy, something thoughtful, something caring, right? Something delightful. But in this sense, gifts don't always feel good. In fact, sometimes they feel terrible. The gifts that the characters in your story are here to give you are gifts that are going to help you move forward on your path in terms of becoming in alignment with your truest and highest self and building the life that's for you. Some of those lessons are going to be hard. Some of those lessons are going to hurt. And if you choose to hold on to anger, resentment, bitterness, that's all you're going to be able to see, the pain that someone caused you. But when you look at it like, this is a character in my story and this person has brought me a gift, then you can look past what that person did to you. You can look past the pain and you can see the gift inside. And that's not something that you want to miss, because if you miss it, you could find yourself in the same situation all over again. Number two is a painful lesson can be your greatest teacher. This is actually the best lesson in the Adam and Eve fable, which is there's always a snake in your garden. It doesn't matter how beautiful your garden or your life is. It doesn't matter how perfect you've made it. There is always going to be something there or someone there to threaten it. And it's not always going to be visible. Sometimes it's going to be wrapped in a package that makes you want to bring it close to you. It's going to be a person that says the right things, does the right things, but has these motives and intentions to absolutely destroy whatever it is that you built, because there's something that they want from you, and what you have built gets in the way. The reason why it's important to be grateful for those threats when you do see them is because they expose you to your weaknesses. For some reason, you allowed that particular threat to make it through your defenses. Why? That's important. Because as you continue in life, building your structure and building your life, you want to be able to see that coming as the stakes get higher. So yes, my friend hurt me. Yes, she did something that was unconscionable. But she also showed me what the threats that I don't see, the threats that I allow through my defenses, she let me see what they look like so they can prepare me for later. Number three is the harm that people bring to your life doesn't have to take away the good that they brought into it. As I said at the beginning of this video, this person brought so much love to my life, so much joy to my life. I mean, her presence is responsible for many of the things that I enjoy today and the people that I enjoy today. You can still appreciate all of the good that a person has brought into your life, even if the way that you and that person's journey ended wasn't on good terms. It's not like all the good that she provided just disappeared because she hurt me. No, it was still there. But if I allowed myself to be trapped in that place of resentment and pain and anger, then that would take away from all of the good that her presence in my life made space for. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to keep that person around, because that person isn't in my life anymore. Here's the thing. When a person shows you, all right, what they're capable of in terms of bringing harm to your life, it is an act of self-love to let that person go. Right? That's another lesson, that this person isn't somebody who you should keep in your garden. They are not to be trusted with it. So forgiveness doesn't mean forget. Forgiveness doesn't mean, okay, well, let's be as trusting as we were before. Forgiveness means that you let that go and that you appreciate what it is and the lesson that came with it. And there's also taking that lesson with it and saying, thank you for the gift. Have a great life. So what this all boils down to is this. You're going to add pain to someone else's story. You're going to be a part of the tragedy in someone else's story, in many people's story. And other people are going to be a part of the tragedies in your story. But this is what it takes to make a good book. If you didn't have people standing on your path, handing you all types of gifts to help you along the way, your book would be unbearably boring. And I don't think anybody wants that. Thank you for watching. Peace and light.